Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. It is time for the OG Podcast, the Cowboys OG Podcast, as we do our best to come along here to you guys every Friday night, right around this time. As we come with the OG perspective, no nonsense. Somebody's TV is up or phone or something like that. Uh, whoever you are, whatever age group you are, we're here for you. This is the no nonsense, straight to the point, raw, uncut, no chaser podcast where we just have a good time. I bet this is what OGs do. Once you hear noise, we just gonna figure it out. So just bear with us. You understand?
Oh, what the hell? That's
We'll
true.
get with you.
I had
Big
to
time, of
get this
course.
down because they could hear.
Cowboy Joe is in the building, and then of course
My phone's out
one
there
and
too.
only B Bird is with us as well. We are here. We ready to talk as we jump once again in this crazy week of Dallas Cowboy news and the big game coming up this this Sunday with the great old rival, the Washington Commanders, Commandos, whatever they are. We ready for them, and here we go. We already know what some of y'all want to talk about as far as the big news of the day. I promise you, we're gonna get into that in just a moment. But there's other stuff to talk about first. And what up, Cowboy Joe? What's going on, man?
It's good. Glad to be with you, brothers, on a Friday evening once again for the Cowboys OG Podcast. Look forward to doing this one every Friday. So I think we kind of got a special audience. So we're gonna just give them some good content here. My channel is called Father and Son Cowboys and Sportscast. I do a podcast with my son, and also do a show with these guys. Terrific guys. Always looking forward to talking with you guys.
Awesome, man. Good to see you tonight, bro. What up, B Bird?
What's going on, fellas? It's great to be here on a Friday night, man. It's actually a pretty good night, man, because Friday nights, hey, the work week's over with. We got the weekend to look forward to. Hey, we just kicking back, man, and just going to talk a little Cowboys football. We did have as the Cowboys go, we got some Real Housewives stuff going on with Diggs, so we're going to kind of see where that goes, man. But it's always something with this organization, man, to keep you on your toes. So, hey, it's just good to hear from you guys and be on with y'all again, man.
Great to go on. Well, we might as well just go and kick it off, man. We in the building, and as well, this crew is so good. We don't need too many notes. We don't need too much structure. We don't need a whole lot of production. We just started talking like we on the front porch. So everybody, whatever you got, get your popcorn out. Hey, if you don't like the truth, you might want to just leave. Ain't no sense in me lying about it. We ain't sugarcoating nothing.
No, man.
So I mean, it wouldn't be us. We don't look. I'm gonna be honest with you. I speak for myself. I don't care what y'all say. I'm just gonna tell you now. I know what some of y'all here for. I'm gonna tell you the truth about Mr. Diggs in a minute. I'm just gonna tell y'all, and we're gonna roll with that. But just get ready for the truth. But Cowboy Joe, go on, kick us off with what you wanna talk about, man.
So I like where you started. We are the OG, so that means we've been around for a long time. And so this Cowboys Commanders rivalry, I think it's back with us. That's what we grew up on back in the day. Some of the great Dallas Washington games, and so this Sunday, for all practical purposes, it's a playoff game. It's going to be a playoff type atmosphere. It is a must-win game. I always kind of get kind of beside myself when people say that NFL games are not must-win games. You only play 17. It's not like the NBA or baseball.
Yeah.
In every game is, if you don't think it's a must-win game, just lose one. Especially in Dallas. we lose one game and everybody goes crazy. But it's a playoff type atmosphere. We're gonna have to show up and play. We don't have very much room for error, and so one of the things I want to look at is, I know Shotty's gonna be ready for this game. He's gonna have his unit prepared. Mr. Eberflus over there, I'm still just kind of sketchy on if he understands, if he sees what is happening here, if he's all in. And I'm looking for some specific games from his game plan that shows me he's all in. And because this is it's a very big game.
Yeah. B-Bird, what you think about it? He want to talk about the rivalry and
well, we can talk about it, but
hated Washington guy.
So I'm gonna put myself back a little bit because, hey, when you say Washington Cowboys, you know what I think of the Clint Longley game, man.
Wow, you going way back? Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Wow,
that was a great day in Dallas, man. But it was just real cool. We've had they've done some good things against us. We've done some good things to them historically. But that game, that was one that the guy comes in and wins the game for us. But one of the things I guess y'all probably know in history that it's a good thing the internet wasn't going on back then, because I don't know if y'all remember Roger Staubach ended up beating up Clint Longley out there at training camp. So
yeah,
he did. I think if that happened today, man, that'd be crazy, man. But what I look at with Washington, man, is really shows you how, before I even got on to be a content creator, the thing I talked about a lot is culture and structure. Well, if you look at if you look at how Washington was with Snyder and all the accusations of all the wrongdoing he did with the cheerleaders and just throughout the organization, it really was toxic throughout the organization. Mm-hmm. And I felt in my heart, and I guess some other people feel this way, and I never thought about this. I felt in my heart, long as Snyder was with Washington, I never had to worry about them because I know how culture works. It goes from the top down. Yeah. So, but when they made him sell the team, he sold the team, I guess, to this guy. And I think Magic is a part owner. Mm-hmm. They got a new president. I think the general manager hadn't been there long. They got a new coach, a new quarterback. So all the minds, the leadership of the organization changed. And in one season, they changed to being winners or going to the NFC Championship game. But it really goes to just getting all the toxicity out the front office, just letting them concentrate on football instead of lawsuits and everything else and have that permeate through the organization. Just getting that out, letting it be about football, man. It shows you just how much, how advantageous that can be and how destructive not being that way can be. And I think the destructive part is what we kind of enduring now. But it's kind of a before and after of how organization can change if the culture changes.
Yeah. When I think about it now, I'm thinking totally different. The rivalry will always be a rivalry, but it has not been as intense as it has been in the last 20 years or so. And mainly that's because the Cowboys pretty much dominated this rivalry. It wasn't always this way. Washington used to have some pretty good teams when we started talking about between the 80s and the early 90s. I'm not talking about when Emmett and Troy and Michael took over, but right before then, when we started talking about Theismann and Riggins and Art Monk and all these different guys, and of course the Hogs, and then of course the Cowboys didn't win, but it was not because we didn't have good teams. We just could never get over the hump. The Danny White teams who always made it to the NFC Championship game, but could never get over the hump to get to the Super Bowl. But Washington won some world championships between their time. Even when you go back to Doug Williams winning finally, but since then, from Emmett, Troy, and Michael days, it's pretty much been the Cowboys show. You have a good sprinkle in every now and then. So it's still a rivalry, but it's just not you younger guys, y'all wouldn't know really the intensity of it. A lot of people think that the Eagles have always been number one. Make no mistake about it. It was the Washington at the time. I'll go ahead and say it, the Washington Redskins at the time. That was the real NFC East real rivalry. It's the equivalent of what Cowboy fans think now the Eagles. Back then, kind of when I was a teenager and stuff, it was Washington. And we used to look forward to seeing them. And I'm quite sure Washington was looking forward to seeing us as well. So it's changed, but it's still there. And I think it's kind of slowly but surely coming back because of all the familiarity with Quinn and knowing everybody and Shotty knowing everybody. And then you guys know each other and all that. Some of them even train together, which is another whole conversation within itself, which I don't like. But anyway, it's today's athlete. But it's a different. It's not as intense as it was. It's still a rivalry though. That's my little perspective on it.
And the NFC East is coming back a little bit. Of course, the Eagles won a Super Bowl last year. Washington, they got Jay Daniels now. Debo is over there. I don't know if he's going to play Sunday. But one thing I've been thinking about this week, guys, I told my son that it's probably going to be a 10-7 team that wins some of these divisions. But I think we need to sweep Washington. We need to beat Philly and then sweep the Giants. The Giants game is looking a lot harder than it did earlier. Yeah. But it all starts on Sunday. You got to take one game at a time. But we got to get this one Sunday. And then, you just take it one game at a time from there. You do not want to be the team that come out of Sunday with a loss. You don't want to be Dallas or Washington. Yeah. So I just want to see our players bring that kind of intensity to the game Sunday, gentlemen. And especially that defensive side of the ball, and which I hope we can talk about.
One thing I want to add. So it's interesting because hold on for 1 second, yeah. So it's interesting because whenever Jimmy and Jerry got here, New York Giants and Washington had just won Super Bowls, and they were playing in our division. So my contention was, if looking back from a historical standpoint, is that Jimmy had to build his teams and to beat the actually defending world championship. So you couldn't play around with that and be like, oh, okay, we got a couple of sorry teams we can win. No, you had to build your team to beat the world champions. So when you built your team to beat the world champions and you did it, well, now you really pretty much could beat everybody else. So sometimes that division was so tough back then, man, to win or to get the wild card out of. Man, you had to fight and you had to go get players. And hey, guess what? And it couldn't be no camp cupcakes either. It had to be some tough football out there being played. So division being as good as it was back then is some part of the reason why in the 90s that we had playoff success, I think.
Well, and to bring it to today, to be honest with y'all, man, look, the division, to be honest with you, is wide open.
Yep.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's the way Philly is coming back down while they're still trying to figure things out. What they've done is open the door for everybody else.
Yep.
Even the Giants are not nowhere near out of it, to be honest with you. That's the bottom. So the bottom line is when it comes to this game, regardless of how things go, the Cowboys or Washington will be really only one game behind.
Yep.
The division lead, and if Philly lose, then we're talking another whole different story here.
Who does Philly play this week?
I don't even know. I don't pay attention. I'm sorry, something. I don't care. But it's good to know. I mean, they battling themselves. To be honest with you, Cowboy Joe, it's in their head right now, and they really are struggling and barely getting by. And so, this game is when Washington and Philly lost last week. This game, or somebody say they playing the Vikings.
Yeah.
So that where are they playing them at? Are they playing them in Philly or are they playing them in Minnesota? Somebody answer that for me.
Minnesota.
Jules,
Minnesota.
Hey Jules, I see you on here.
They're playing Minnesota.
They're playing in Minnesota. So that's another. So now we're talking. So now we're talking something You know, they can be beat. They're struggling in the head, and so this game, because of them losing last week, this game is a big game in Dallas for both teams. To be honest with you, so I'm expecting, some of that old feeling back. Without a doubt. Bobby Murphy, how you doing, sir? You got an Eagle fan here. Let me tell you what y'all problem is, Bobby. It's not that y'all are not healthy, even though some of your guys are playing hurt. Y'all problem is that y'all missing Kellen Moore. As crazy as that may sound. When y'all lost y'all coordinator, that made a difference. And you can see the struggles. That's what it is. You got the same players, but you got a different coordinator. And you're seeing the difference now. That's what y'all probably. That's just my opinion. I ain't saying it's 100,000%, but that's what it is. But forget Philadelphia. I care less about y'all. Listen, Sunday in Dallas is a huge game, without a doubt.
Yep. So I'm gonna bring some controversy to the show. I got to be the one that bring it. So we're gonna go ahead and just jump off the top rope here. So I've been looking at some steal shots all week of this defense, the alignment, and I've been looking at some of the things that are being posted. And so, one of the things I found very aggravating about last Sunday's game. So that that 3rd and 3, when we had Bland playing 10 yards off the receiver, and Kenneth Murray was supposed to run to his right to get in the passing lane. One of the things that's just so frustrating is to see week in and week out, our corners are playing so far off. So in that scenario, instead of Bland being 10 yards off, if he's 5 yards off, he's going to have a shot at making a play. And one of the stats I wanted to throw at you guys that I saw today, it said that we are the only team in the NFL where our defensive backs, our corners and our safeties have no batted down or touched balls. In other words,
wow,
week in and week out, we've seen passes being thrown, and our corners and our safeties, they're nowhere near the ball. That was just an extraordinary stat to see. And it all comes back to you playing 90% zone. Now, in all fairness, you got to mix it up. That's what it comes down to. You want to take that 90%, just get it down to 70%. Big time, I listened to your show, your ride earlier this week. You were talking about the fact that we had no run blitzes in the game last Sunday. So I just think from a competitive standpoint, and Sunday is going to be another test. We just cannot go in these games playing 90% zone. You're not doing any run blitzing. You ain't got Donovan Wilson down in the box. My concern with Eberflus is I just think he's been paid. He's been paid by the Bears. He's being paid by the Bears. He's being paid by the Cowboys. He's accountable to no one. And it looks like Jerry signed him. And so, B-Bird, you've talked about the fact that our general manager has no accountability because he can't be fired. Yeah. Are we dealing with a defensive coordinator who is just saying to himself, I'm untouchable. I can just do whatever I want to do. Nobody can do anything about it. I'm going to play my defense. And that's kind of what's happening with the defensive side of the ball. I wanted to get you guys thought on that, on this bend but don't break defense.
I'll be real quick. I think if you have the talent, man, some teams are so talented they can just play a defense. Maybe Seattle could play that defense back in the days when they were really good. But when you don't have the talent like that, man, you got to, now the coordinator has to mix things up. We got to confuse the quarterback, make the quarterback hold the ball just a little bit longer, make him, show something at the pre-snap, after snap, go to something else. You got to mix it up a little bit. You can't be so elementary that they figure out what's going on. They know where they're going to go to as soon as they break the huddle. So that's pretty much. So I think Nate Newton was saying this week, he kind of mentioned the cornerbacks and say, which one do you want to see in man? And then I think on the show, nobody said nobody man. They say, okay, which one you want to see in zone? Nobody said, yeah, about being in zone. But what it is, in a vacuum, you can look at it like that. But what you got to do is mix it up. If the quarterback don't know his zone of his man until, now he got to figure that out, man. That helps your pass rush and everything. So now it's the time for Eberflus to come in and say, hey, we got to change something. I think it should happen this week.
All right, let me go and stir the pot up a little bit. So Jerry, in his interview earlier this week with 105.3 The Fan, he let out a little nugget that really irritated me. And the nugget was when he said that because the question was asked about Eberflus, and he said, once I saw him free, I went and got him.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So what that tells you is, obviously, that wasn't Schottenheimer's guy.
Yep.
It was Jerry's guy, which means Jerry hadn't learned. He hadn't learned never. I said this on, I got on the show with DC Universe the other night, and I said, this is the same Jerry Jones that had Wade Phillips and had Jason Garrett as the coach in waiting. If y'all remember that.
Yep.
And had Wade Phillips like he was a dead man walking.
Yep.
You had the next head coach on the same staff with the guy who knew he wasn't going to make it. That caused controversy. Then he also had with Mike McCarthy, he said you can hire everybody, but you're going to keep Kellen Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which means Mike McCarthy at the end of the day wanted to call his own plays. He just had to, in order to get the job, he had to accept what Jerry allowed. And once again, now we got this same pattern.
Yep.
That he now hires Eberflus. For all I know, I've been saying for a while, shoot, man, look, Brian Schottenheimer was offensive coordinator with the Jets, while Rex Ryan was the defensive coordinator and head coach of the Jets. They went to 2 straight AFC championship games. I don't care what you say about Rex. They went to 2 straight AFC championship games. Rex was sitting out there waiting. How I know he didn't want to call Rex in? How I know he didn't want more of an aggressive. It kind of makes sense when you got a running team or a supposed running team. You need a defense that's going to be rock solid, definitely not last in the league. You're going to have to go ahead and get things done. So I'm putting a lot of Jerry into this to answer your question when it comes to Eberflus. And I said all that to say to match up with Cowboy Joe. See, when Jerry hired you, that's security.
Yep.
Yeah.
When somebody else hire you, now you got to coach for your job.
Got to perform.
You see what I'm saying? But if Jerry, that's why Kellen Moore was so comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's why Jason Garrett was so comfortable all those years, because they was the hand-picked guy of Jerry Jones. So, I'm going to, am I saying that he's comfortable? Well, he's comfortable enough not to change. But he got to do something because he's looking really ridiculous now. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, so I asked Boss a question the other day because he had a really good thing when he had a in-depth thing on this Jerry saying about him hiring Eberflus. So my question was, I was trying to figure out just traditionally, don't the head coach hire both the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator usually?
Usually the head coach would hire, excuse me. Yes. To answer your question, yes. Most organizations, yes.
I said that I told him a story that whenever I know this is far away from NFL, but I coached my son in youth football and I was doing some research on it. and this guru of youth football said, hey man, when you do your coaching staff, get friends and family. And I was like, well, why would you do that? You got players' dads out there. And it was interesting what he said. He said, family members will be loyal to you beyond football. So they won't try to go behind your back during football. He said, but those dads on the sideline, they don't know you. He said, since they don't know you, they don't really care about throwing you under the bus to parents, to other coaches. They try to institute their own things when you're not there. There's a lot of other stuff there because the connection isn't there. So if Shotty hires a guy feels like, hey, this guy hired me, he gave me a chance, I'm gonna be loyal to him. But if Jerry hired a guy, hey, you ain't hired me, you can't fire me. You know what I'm saying? That guy over there gonna fire me if I do something or whatever. And that also, and you made a great point. Garrett stayed here for 10 years being mediocre. Kellen Moore stayed here for a long time. Remember, he hired Dan Quinn, and Dan Quinn, remember, he stepped on Mike McCarthy's toes by saying that Dan Quinn could be the head coach. You know what I'm saying? And so he does go a long way with the people that he picked, man. He takes it a long way to see if it's going to succeed. But the other one, he don't give him, if it's not his pick, he don't give him a whole bunch of time, man.
Yeah. So here's what I want to run past you guys on Eberflus. So the football is a physical game. Okay, it's a game of intensity, and sometimes if you're not careful, the players will take on the personality of the coach. Yeah. And so when I watch him on Sundays, now you guys may have noticed something different, but he's down there on the field. I never see him talking to players when they're coming out. For the most part, he's looking at his play sheet. He's just walking back and forth. He's just not a guy to me that has a type of intensity that you need. Now, let me say this. You can be a guy that doesn't really have much personality defensively or offensively, but you have to have a good system. So you can be like Tom Landry. You know, you could be like Bill Walsh. So you've seen coaches like that. You can do that if you got a good system. His defense, to me, it's the bend, don't break. You know, Boss has been referring to it as soft. It's all of that. And I think what's happening is the players, they just don't play with a level of physicality and intensity because the defense that he runs, it doesn't really call for that. So I think that's an issue with what we're seeing on the defense side of the ball. It's reared its ugly head in every game we played. And so, look, Sunday, if he doesn't understand the type of game that's happening Sunday, if he's not invested in it, if he just comes in with his same old game plan, he's just on the sideline walking back and forth looking at his play sheet, you know, we're going to be in some trouble. And it's not going to be just this week, but the weeks coming up, because again, this game, you got to be intense, guys. You got to have a certain level of physicality with your team, with your game plan. And I just don't think he brings that. That's just kind of my observation.
Well, I just think he got to try. Look, his way of doing things has gotten us to be the last in the league. I mean, you got a 6-game sample. You got to try something different. It's just that simple. So what has he done primarily? He's pretty much, as you said, I think last week, the stats say that they were in 90% zone last week. That didn't get you anything. You're going to have to blitz. If your front four, which is obvious, can't get in there, you got to bring somebody else in the fold. That's what we did in the Jet game. I don't understand the controversy. The Jet game, you had 5 sacks because you blitzed. Yeah. You played better because you blitzed. And you're just going to have to take some chances. I agree. And I said that earlier, you know, you ain't got to be 50-50. You know, 50 zone, 50 man. But you can't be 90-10. You just can't do that. So bring it down to 70, 80, 90, whatever. I mean, 70 or 80%, you know, zone, since that's what he primarily runs. That's fine. It just depends on down the distance. Listen, if it's 3rd and 4, it's kind of common sense. Don't have your cornerbacks lined up 10 yards off the ball. It's 3rd and 4.
You have no chance.
No, it's 3rd and 2. Why are you 10 yards off? It's just simple, some alignment stuff that just as simple. You got to bring your corners down, play man. I said it before. I said it earlier. Diggs, even though he's not playing this week, but Bland made all pro, primarily playing man coverage. That's facts. Yeah. Do what your players do best. You got to change this thing up. So you might get burnt a couple times. Yeah, we understand it's Jaden Daniels. But if you let Jaden Daniels just stand there because he ain't got no pressure on you, he going to throw for 500 yards against us this week. It's just that simple. So you got to do something different. We got the 6-game sample. It's horrible. Okay, change it up. It's really just that simple to me.
So I want to ask you this, B Bird, and Big Time, and I'm just really making this elementary. We've all been on at some level. We played the game. You know, you've seen it. But here's a question that I have for you guys about Eberflus. Okay, so he's down on the field. He's not in the press box. Okay, so he's standing on the field. He's got assistant coaches too. If it's 3rd and 3, and you got your corner 10 yards off the ball, wouldn't you just yell out on the field to your corner to move up? Wouldn't you just tell your player you right there on the field? So how are we seeing week in and week out? We got guys lined up 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, and the coach is not telling them to move up. That leads me to believe that's his defense.
That's his defense, man.
So what's
those players are lining up where he's doing. I want to add something onto it. That wasn't 3rd down. That was 4th down and 4, man. So that was a key play in the game, because after that play, if you stop him right there, you get the ball. You don't need but 20 yards to go the next way to get into our field goal kicker's range. And so, but back to answer your question, Joe, when a coach calls a play, to me defensively, the depths are already there in the play call.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's right, Big Time. What do you think?
Well, on that play, was you talking 4th and 4? What the film showed was it really, you could have lined up the cornerback there, but the reason why he was back there is because that was his area of responsibility. What the play was I think you're talking about the play when he caught when Bryce Young threw it to Winfro.
Yeah.
What happened on the play was that Kenny Murray.
Yeah.
He was late.
He was about a half second late.
Yeah.
He leaned to one side, got caught up in the sauce, and I think he was about a half second late. He's supposed to have jumped that thing. He probably took it back to the house. But just that half second is the difference between, like you just said, B-Bird, you getting the ball and probably need this 20 yards, kick a field goal, and then you, of course, losing the game the way you did. That's the difference. Again, we're talking about responsibility. We're also talking about recognition from the players. And maybe we just a step behind in that area. So you know what I'm saying? So it go hand in hand. But to Cowboy Joe point, they always line up too far off.
Yeah.
Whether it's 3rd and 3, I mean, they line up. You don't never see. Forgive me, I had to go back. I haven't seen no press man. I haven't seen it.
Well, and even in that play, what I'm saying, guys.
Even in the cover 2, I'm sorry. Even in the cover 2 where you can jam them, then let them go. I haven't seen us get up on the receiver this year.
So situational football, guys. Look at the situation. It's 4th and 3, 4th and 4, whatever the case may be, B-Bird. Kenny Murray got his role. But on that play right there, wouldn't you as a coach just say, Bland, I don't want you playing press, man. You know, we got a controversy with that. If he just moves up 3 yards closer, it makes it a lot harder for Bryce Williams to get the ball. It makes it a much better play to defend. But the way he played it, it didn't work. So
but what would Murray do? What would Murray do on that play? See what I'm saying? Like he's in the depth, so Murray can do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was Murray's play.
Yeah.
Be there. If he would have leaned to the left, depending on what camera you're looking at it from, if he would have went the opposite way, it's a good chance that he's there. At least get his hands on it, because he barely missed it. He barely missed it. I'm saying just that half second there, he knew what to do. It was just too late. And maybe you call a different defense. See, another thing is like Cowboy Joe is saying, I think you're absolutely right. Like, your personnel kind of dictates what you call. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be, I hate to say this, but if Sanborn would have been in the game, he might have been there.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't lean right there. I mean, Sanborn doesn't know where to be like that, but Murray is an aggressive downhill dude, and he gonna bite off the first thing, and then he try to recuperate. But that 1/2 second or that second messed him up like that. But But I agree with you, Joe.
So
the situational football.
Yeah. And
I think we're gonna see that this week. I think we are gonna see that this week. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got written down in my notes. That's the difference between a Sean Lee and a Murray. And I know because Sean Lee IQ was way off the map, and Murray's just a C-ball, hit ball type of guy, man.
He's not. Remember, according to what everybody's saying, he's capable of being the green dot guy. He's capable of being the middle, but he's really not a middle linebacker.
Yeah,
that's Sanborn thing. You know what I'm saying? That's Sanborn. Yeah. I mean, that's Sanborn, and if you want to go Shamar James, that's their thing. He really is the, I ain't gonna say a strong side. He's more like a wheel type dude to me. But anyway, but
so I got a question, man. So this is something that I asked Boss, I think, this week. So how much responsibility does Shotty have for the defense?
I think Eberflus answers to Jerry. That's what I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it this way. The only thing that's saving Schottenheimer right now is that he is directing the best offense in the league.
Yep.
That's the only thing that's saving. If the Cowboys all of a sudden hit a dry spot, they're gonna start blaming him for everything, as every head coach should.
That's absolutely right.
As every head coach pays for everything. The only reason why ain't no steam on Schottenheimer right now, is because he got a quarterback that's playing out of his mind right now. He got a wide receiver in Pickens who has lost his mind in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And now you bring back CD for this week, and you figure that the offense is going to keep rolling. So you can't say really nothing about Schottenheimer. All fingers are pointed toward Eberflus right now. When you hear everybody talking, usually it don't be fire the coordinator, usually be fire the head coach. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't even saying that about Shotty right now. It ain't, and you shouldn't say it about it. But you let the offense start struggling a little bit, and the defense struggle with them, and you're gonna start having some folks that's gonna call for Shotty next. Yeah. I mean, the honeymoon gonna be over with in a minute.
Well, what you think, John? The Chicago game is the one that's kind of lurking, where offense they played okay, but they didn't, play as well as they've been. But here's what I've been thinking about this too this week, guys. So we're all fathers, and so I was really a big fan of Marty Schottenheimer. So if Marty Schottenheimer was still living, and his son is coaching the Cowboys, I think a conversation he would have had with him this week is he would tell him this. He would just tell him, Brian, you're the head coach. When these losses start piling up, they're gonna go on your record, not Eberflus. So what he would tell Shotty to go into meetings and just start telling him, these are some of the things I want to see in these games. I want to see 70%, 60% zone. I want to see some run blitzes. Our guys are probably hurt, Bland and Diggs. They're not 100%. Let's play them 5 yards off the receivers versus 10. And then just make some adjustments. And then, after he does that, then I think, you might see some changes. But I think if his dad was around, that's what he would tell him. He would tell him, you are the coach. And so you're not going to just, lay down and let this guy just do this. We waited for 20 years to get a job. You're not going to just let this happen.
Yeah. So the thing is, man, and that's why I brought that up, because we almost act as though Eberflus is defensive coordinator, Shotty's the offensive coordinator. Well, who's the head coach? And so who's that authority figure? And I say the Joneses.
Yep.
So if you go back and look, if Parcells' offense for the Giants didn't do well, you think people are going to let Parcells off the hook? No, Parcells was a guy. He's the defensive coordinator, but he was going to take bullets for the whole team. Marty Schottenheimer, he was going to take bullets for the whole team because the whole team was his responsibility. Tom Landry, even back in the days, Jimmy John, we are giving him a pass. If you're going to be the head coach, man, you're supposed to go in there and go into that. You're responsible for that defensive room just like you are that offensive room. That's just my opinion. And I know you calling plays or whatever, but the responsibility still falls on you as a head coach. And so we are letting him off the hook, man, to be totally honest with you.
Well,
and to me,
Go ahead,
on.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish up.
Well, to me, it's making Shotty look kind of weak and like, okay. So this is my thought process. The Cowboys have only had 2 Type A personality coaches here in the last 35 years with Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells. Everybody else were, kind of, coach, player-friendly coaches, easy to work with the front office guys. Also, too, another characteristic with all the coaches that we got, nobody else really wanted them. It wasn't like a mad fight over them like the offensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions last year. It wasn't a mad fight for them. And so these guys come here, with their hat in hand, and they're going to take anything Jerry said because they just want the job. So they come here. I think when you come here in that manner, you just asking to get run over. And so right now, man, I think I'm kind of disappointed in Shotty because he ain't manning up right now like I would like to see a leader do for this team, man. I don't see him standing up, saying, no, we're going to get this fixed. If I'm going into, not saying I'm going into the room, he wouldn't say that, but go into that defensive room and say, hey, no, man, you need to run more of this and more of that. That shouldn't be just be on Eberflus to make his own call on that.
So big time. I got a question for you. So Mike Fisher is one of the guys that I follow. Now I was telling B Bird earlier. I listen to Mike Fisher when he's doing his get off my lawn type guy. I just tune him out. But he does say some things that really get your attention from time to time. He made a comment this week that some people in the front office told him that Eberflus was on thin ice. So big time, what do you see happening Sunday and going forward? How do you think this thing plays out with Shotty? Is he going to come in and put his foot down, or is he just dead? Like B-Bird said, they're all dead men walking.
First of all, I don't know if you guys heard Schottenheimer's press conference. I want to say maybe on Tuesday, but he did let a little cat out of the bag. And he said he hadn't done this to this level this whole year. He was in the defensive meetings this year. I mean, this week.
This week.
He said that he spent a lot of time in the defensive meetings. And Schottenheimer has always consistently said, and he didn't say this, but he said, if you listen to him, he said that we always have hard conversations. So, of course, we ain't got no microphone in there. But the question is, though, it wasn't no easy conversation when you start talking about this defense. And I'm quite sure that the word blitz came up. And if he spent time in there, I'm quite sure that we're going to see some differences. And Ahmad, right here in his comment, he answered your question, and I echo it. I think you're going to see some blitzes this week. And he's, I don't know how desperate he is, however, but I think that the defense is desperate because they know they got to turn this thing around quickly. If not, we're going to lose a whole lot of ball games this year. So, and when Fisher talks, he's one of those people, man, that he worked with the Cowboys back in the day. He's been there for almost 30 years. Working, being, affiliated with the Cowboys, which means he's developed a lot of relationships over the years. And so when he says something, he's just not throwing stuff out. He got it from somewhere.
Yep.
He's one of those voices that, those are one of those guys that when he talks, you probably need to listen to what he's saying. Him, James Slater, Calvin Watkins, these guys, Brian Broaddus, these guys here, when they say something, they got sources. And so when he says that he heard that Eberflus is on thin ice, you probably need to pay attention to that, which means that he ain't got time to have a zero, a dud performance out here. So he got to do something different. So I'm expecting a lot of aggression this week. And you better, because you're going against a quarterback that will, if you think, look, it's common sense, y'all. If you think Russell Wilson and Caleb Williams and Bryce Young made you look bad, ladies and gentlemen, let me just go on and tell you, I can't stand them, but I know it when I see it. Jaden Daniels will make you look really bad this week. If you just let him sit back there and there ain't no pressure on him and he can run too and all that kind of stuff, listen, you better understand. You better do something different this week. If it was any week you better blitz, you better start sending the cavalry in this week.
Well, that's why it's going to be a big game. It's a nationally televised game. I was kind of disappointed. I don't think he ruled all the way out. I wanted to see Debo in this game because I wanted to see how we're going to respond. You were saying something, B-Bird?
Well, it's kind of off subject, but I'll tell you this. So me and Cowboy Joe had a conversation last week. I said, man, it's interesting you can't find Schottenheimer's contract anywhere, how much he makes. But Jules actually did find it. I think that was Jules. It was $4.5 million a year. And I always say we're the most valuable franchise in the world. He's the lowest paid head coach in the NFL. So let me give you a comparison. You know who makes $6 million a year? Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator for the Raiders.
Wow.
So he makes less than Chip Kelly and less than Vic Fangio, or the same amount as Vic Fangio. So that's how much we value a head coach in Dallas. And if any coach, Ben Johnson would never have taken a job here. That's why they don't even want to go after a guy like that. Why? Why would I go after a guy like that when, you know what I'm saying, we're not paying that amount of money. We're not paying double figures for a head coach. I just want to throw that out there, man.
Well, and I'm pretty sure, to piggyback on your point, I'm pretty sure that Eberflus is making more than Shotty because Eberflus is still getting paid by the Bears. So Eberflus is double dipping. So he's getting paid by the Bears and the Cowboys. And the last thing I want to say about this, guys, and we can go talk about Diggs, is so we got a 30-year drought. We haven't been in an NFC Championship game in 30 years. Okay. So there was a lot of discussion this week about who's at fault. And what I've been saying is it's a three-leg stool. The reason we haven't made it to NFC Championship game is because we've had players that haven't executed, like Murray didn't do last Sunday. It's been players not playing well. The second thing is coaching. We haven't had the best coaching. And the third thing is the front office. So the front office, the coaching, and the players, that's a bad recipe for having success. And that's what we're seeing year in and year out. This offseason, Murray, Sanborn, people are complaining about them, but that's who Jerry and them brought in. Murray didn't just walk on the team on his own. They signed Murray to an $8 million contract. That's another reason why Murray's playing. They paying him $8 million. So he's gonna be on the field. So I just think we got to talk about this as our show is going. We just got to talk about the three legs on the stool. It's the front office, the coaches, and the players. And that's why they haven't been in an NFC Championship game in 30 years. It's all three.
Well, if you don't mind, big time, I'll say this real quick. But you got one of those entities that's responsible for the other ones.
There you go.
The front office and the coach.
Yeah. So if you get a subpar coach, the front office, the one that brought him in, when you have not signed a top 20 free agent since 2012 in Brandon Carr,
there you go.
That's your player acquisition right there. And when you do that, when you rely solely on the draft, if you miss on the draft, it's catastrophic, man.
Yeah.
It's really the one, to be totally honest with you. Because that's the one that's been there 30 years. Players have come and gone.
Yeah.
It's the one front office that has been here for 30 years.
Yeah. It's Jerry. It's Jerry, and you can on the very tail end of that recently is Steven.
Yeah.
What have they told us the last couple of years? They said it's the mentality. Why would you pay one person this amount when you can pay 5 of them that same amount?
You had to remind me of that.
So you're already telling me that you want flea market players, but you want all pro production out of flea market type guys. We don't do free agency for impact. We do free agency for depth.
That's right.
That should answer your question there. And while the other teams, ever since the Rams with today's NFL in the last, I'll say 7 to 8 years or whatever, the Rams gave the blueprint. the Rams, number one, knew the Super Bowl was going to be in their home stadium. The Rams said, we going all in for this 1 year. We going to trade everybody. We going to trade draft picks away. We going to do it all. The bottom line is, guess what? At the end of the year, they was the one raising the trophy. They made the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl. The very next year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed Tom Brady. All right. Tom Brady was 40-something years old, whatever he was. You knew that in order to maximize Tom Brady and trying to win a Super Bowl, because you ain't bring him in for nothing else, you had to say we all in. What did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do? They went out and let folks go. They went out and brought guys in. They went in and they went and brought Gronk in. They went in and brought players, our defensive players in. What happened? They went all in, and guess what happened? They won the Super Bowl. They stacked the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the Rams stacked the deck. The Buccaneers stacked the deck. What did Kansas City do? Kansas City stacked the deck.
Oh, yeah.
What did Philadelphia do last year? Even though they drafted well, they went out and said, we already know we good, but we just gonna go and get Saquon and go and carry this thing over the top.
Yep.
A.J. Brown.
We went and got A.J. I mean, so the Cowboys, why I said that to say why the Cowboys are drafting and developing, because that's what they did to win in the 90s. That don't work now.
Mm-mm.
And so the mentality to say, look, why would we I'm just using Michael Parsons. You know, we can pay 4 guys with Michael Parsons. Yeah, but are they impact guys or are they just depth pieces?
Yep.
And so that mentality still lies today. The coaches ain't got nothing to do with that. The coaches probably want superstars.
Yeah.
But it's Jerry and Steven who want to go ahead and go the cheap route. And so what you're seeing is the result, you got a bunch of guys that when your one star does go out, now you got a bunch of depth practice squad, third string guys from the XFL. We depending on XFL players. What they want is a XFL guy, Brandon Aubrey, to come into the league and become an all-pro immediately. And so that's why they dip into the XFL. Perrion Winfrey's, all these guys, they let like, and if we can go ahead and go ahead and strike it rich, we gonna beat something. No, it ain't working now. So, but hey, it is what it is. It's Jerry, man. He's
so one thing, no coach in their right mind, defensive coach, would want Michael Parsons not on their team. That just makes no sense. Like, so that I know that was just a Jerry thing, right?
Yeah.
One other thing too, in getting Pickens, what they did, and this is a theory I had, and I don't know if I might have said it with y'all. I'm of the mind, if I'm a GM, I'm stocking my room from the top down. Like if I see a room that needs help, I'm not going to get a 6 wide receiver. I'm going to get a Pickens. You see how Pickens made the difference here? That's because you went and got a quality guy, and then you made everybody else move down a rung. And it made the whole thing strong.
Yes, you did. But the only reason why you got him because he was cheap.
Yeah.
You didn't get him because if he would have been making money, you wouldn't have got him.
Yeah, he's cheap at the moment.
I don't know what he's making this year, but he's on his last year in the rookie deal.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why you went and got him. And plus, he had a bad rep, and nobody else really wanted him. See what I'm saying? Everybody was saying, if you can't make it with Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh, you must be really something wrong with you. And Cowboys, again, what we love to do is go get Greg Hardy's. What we like to go against Ronaldo McClain. What we like to do is go get these David Irvins. We like to go get the troubled players that are really good or real good and try to bring them here and rehabilitate them and all that type of stuff. But make no mistake about it, we're going to see how bad you want Pickens after this season when that salary jump up from whatever you're making now to over $30 million. And I guarantee you, the story gonna change then. But go ahead.
So I'm sorry, Cowboy Joe. You had something because I just talked.
No. You go ahead.
So the thing is, man, and I think you're making. I think big time what you're making the case of is that the Joneses want to try to field the cheapest team they can, while still being competitive. And so here's the deal. And this is what I think is one of the biggest things. So my biggest thing about the Cowboys and our issues is the front office people can't lose their jobs. The second thing is, man, is that they have the ability to be cheap. Why? Because, okay, back up. You have one guy that should be in your organization that ought to be about just getting the best players. And who that should be is the GM. So the GM should petition the owner to sign a player. Say if Jacksonville needed a cornerback, they were 9-8 last year. They said, hey, man, if we get this cornerback, we got one good cornerback. If we get this other cornerback, he's going to be a free agent. He's 27 years old, man. We're going to be good to go if we get this guy. He's going to allow our defense to do a lot of things. We can play man. It's going to give us those 2 games or 3 games that we need to win. He has to petition the owner, hey, we need to sign this guy. Owner got to say yeah or nay. That's why this back and forth come from between those two. And if the owner may say, no, man, I don't want to pay that much. Or he might be like, hey, let's go for it. I want to win. But that back and forth has to happen between GM, who wants the best players, and the owner, who has the purse. Why does that happen in Dallas if the owner and the GM is the same person? So what you have is a GM with an owner's mindset. And that's why we don't go get players. That's why we don't get free agents, because they don't want to get into a bargain. They know if I get into a bargaining deal against another team, we're not going to win anyway, so why even try? So we're not even going to try to sign those guys. We'll just go to the bargain bin and go sign these people. People say the Joneses don't take risk anymore. Yes, they do. They take them on the backside. They take risk of getting this player here out of UFL, getting this player undrafted free agent, get this player that was injured, take a chance in the second round on these trouble players. They take risk on the bottom side, not the top side.
And yeah, go ahead, big time.
Well, I mean, this is where that it is. They that's why everybody gets so hopeful during that season of free agency, because we the fan base know what we want, but they've been consistent in this flea market.
Yes.
Crackerjack free agents that they find at the bottom of the barrel. We don't shop on day 1 and day 2 of free agency. We wait to day 8, day 9. We get free agents for depth. And I hate to be repetitive, but that's what we do. We don't go to free agency for impact. Getting those 1 or 2 guys that's gonna get us over the hump. They already told you, why pay this amount of money for for this one guy when you get 3 for the same price. So they tell you they want depth. They believe in the rotation. They don't believe in the man, quote unquote, the man. They believe in the men. You see what I'm saying? That's what the difference is. And right now, that ain't gonna get it done. Now, I see, which leads to Pickens. I hope y'all enjoying this. because well, I'm just telling you, I hope y'all enjoying this, because if Pickens goes for over 1,000 yards, and he really ain't got to see. Let me show y'all. Let me tell y'all what happened. And I don't mean to be long, but let me just say this.
Take your time, brother.
Listen,
yeah, you good.
Pickens, when Lamb went down, the talk was, can Pickens be the number 1? The talk was, can he be effective? Well, to make a long story short, 3 weeks later, with no Lamb, Pickens just showed the whole world, I'm one of those dudes.
Yeah.
Okay? Y'all can say whoever y'all want to say, but the real truth be told, I'm really one of those dudes. And if I got a quarterback, see, a lot of y'all were fooled because, see, the quarterbacks he had was Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph in Pittsburgh. There's a difference between Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett and Dak Prescott. And you can see it. And so we just got 6 games in. We got another whole 11 more weeks to go. If this dude get over 1,000 yards, ladies and gentlemen, how much money y'all think? Put it down in the chat real quick. How much money y'all think Pickens is going to ask for? They want, and everybody talking about, well, Jerry need to go sign him now. Man, that man ain't fit to do that now. He going to play this thing out.
Too late. You got the leverage now. Yep.
Pickens don't have to do nothing else, y'all. He's answered the questions. Can he be a number one? Yes. And just in case you didn't know, Dave McGelly, which is our fraternity brother, Cowboy Joe, is the agent of George Pickens. Yes, that same agent that is the agent of Michael Parsons. Now, you already know Jerry just had a problem with Dave McGelly. What in the world you think this dude is going to ask for if he does what I think he's going to do? Jerry ain't, and listen, I hate to be the baby. Y'all may well just go get you a drink now and just start drinking. Jerry is not going to pay CD 34 and George Pickens $30+ million. That's $60 million between two guys. He might franchise them. He might. But if you're in a franchise tag, what's going to mess y'all up is that Puka Nacua is going to get paid going into next year. And what you think Puka's going to get? Okay. Yeah. The only reason why I say that, because as of right now, the franchise tag for a wide receiver is at least $28 million. If Puka signs and gets what I think he's going to get, that's going to bump it up maybe to 29, maybe depending on what he get. 28, 29. Do you really believe Jerry is going to pay $28 million for a franchise tag dude? So enjoy Pickens now, because based off the track record that the Jones family do in their cheapness, we ain't going to see George at the end of this year. Now, I hate to, and I know, but the offense looks so good, man, please. He let Amari Cooper go. Stop it. The offense look good with Amari Cooper. He let Pollard go. He let all the big guys when it's time to get paid. You know, and I know y'all say, well, he paid Zeke. Well, I mean, he had no choice but to pay Zeke. He paid Lawrence. He may have shouldn't have paid Lawrence. Of course, he paid the quarterback. Of course, he paid the lineman. But wide receivers and running backs have real problems getting paid. And there just ain't nowhere in the world Jerry is going to pay $58, $59, $60 million between two guys. He just not going to do that. He too cheap, man.
Good on, Cowboy Joe.
So I think I shared this with you, B-Bird, earlier this week. So for a while now, I believe that Jerry still wants to win a Super Bowl without Jimmy. He still wants to prove that, and he's kind of getting long in the tooth. You know, Father Time is undefeated. So I just said, well, you know, Jerry, he really is trying to win it. But here lately, I just come to the conclusion that I'm not so sure that he has a sense of urgency or he's trying to win one more. He may be content. He got his gold jacket, although it wasn't football, it was the business side. So I think one of the questions that we're going to get an answer on is the next few months, especially after the season is over. Is he really trying to win another Super Bowl? Or has he got to the place where right now he's just trying to set everything up for the kids and the grandkids? He's fine without winning another one. So we're going to see that with this Pickens situation. Look, it's 32 owners. It's only one owner in the NFL that would trade for George Pickens, then trade for Michael Parsons, then trade Michael Parsons away, I meant to say, and then let Pickens walk. It's only one owner in the NFL that would do that, and that's Jerry Jones.
Wow.
My thing on Pickens, man, is this. I was excited when the trade, my son was excited. He texted me and broke the news. But once I found out that they didn't work out a contract extension with him prior to it, it kind of dulled that because really you're going into a season. That's why I like with Hendrickson. I don't like the Cowboys have not traded people that was going into their final year of the contract. Traded for people. I think it's good to trade for. That's why I would like Max Crosby because he's already under 3 years and the finances is already out the door because I don't trust Jerry and Pickens in the offseason. You see what I'm saying? I don't trust them to get that done. I don't trust Jerry to get the Pickens deal done. I'd rather it had already been done. But I think what you do is I think what they should have did is went to Pickens and say, hey, look, man, we ready to sign you for $27 million right now for a 3-year contract before we trade you. Now we love you to come to Dallas. Man, we really, really think you can do well down here, but we'd like to get this contract already, before we even trade for you. And that the trade is contingent upon you signing the contract. And if he says no, then you just keep it moving. If he says yeah, then everything is good. I probably wouldn't even trade it for him if it wasn't, the contract was already in place.
Well, I said this on my show, and like I said, I don't care what y'all say because everybody take a general managership and they do things differently. So to go off what B Bird just said, if you know the Cowboys, you should already know this dude. If he does what he's doing now, he's gonna get $30 million minimum.
Yeah,
minimum. All right.
Yeah.
If you know you're not gonna pay that, okay, that's one. And then number two, if you know you're not gonna franchise him, then he now becomes very valuable in a trade. And the trade deadline is coming up. I said on my show, it's teams that will line up right now. A team that's right there and needs something to carry them over the top. Well, Pickens fits that category.
Yeah.
The other alternative is if you don't do nothing, you just wasted a trade for absolutely nothing, and you're not going to get nothing back. If you know you're not going to pay him long term, and you know that you're not going to pay the franchise tag, then you're going to let him walk. So what good was that? Just a rental? I mean, you got to get something in return for this. I'm sorry, that's me.
So they said,
and I don't think, and I agree with you, Imad. I don't think he's gonna get traded, which brings up, okay, again, he might get franchised, like Marlon said a little early in the chat. He might get franchised, or he just very well may get the big bucks. But that just don't seem like that's Jerry. I don't care how much money the salary cap will be next year. Jerry and Steven for years have tried to cheat their way to a playoff win, cheat their way to a possible Super Bowl, all that type of stuff. They are set in their ways. Yes. They will not go like Philadelphia did. They won't go like Tampa. They won't do like the Rams did. They don't believe in stacking the deck. The reason why you can't tell them it don't work, and unfortunately, this is where the championships come into play, because they won this way, but it was a different era. You can't tell them that drafting and development don't work, because Jerry got 3 rings on his finger. They say it does work. He got a gold jacket. He's already in the Hall of Fame. You can't tell him that his system don't work, because he's won. But what he don't fail to understand is it's a different day. It's a different time. And if you're talking about winning now, can you imagine? Let me tell you something. He said, somebody said, well, there's no way you're going to get traded. Let me tell you something. What Pickens have showed you right now, what if the Los Angeles Chargers come knocking at the door and say, we want George Pickens to go with Keenan Allen and George Pickens together to go with Justin Herbert, and you trying your best to get over the hump of the Kansas City Chiefs? What if the Buffalo Bills, oh my God, would Josh Allen say we want Pickens and they trying to get over Kansas City? You don't think somebody wouldn't try to do that? That Mahomes ghost is just lingering over the AFC. He just like Jordan right now. He's stopping people from getting to championships. He's stopping Josh Allen. He's stopping Lamar Jackson. He's stopping Justin Herbert and all these guys. They're trying to get to beat the Chiefs. Everybody know the Chiefs is getting ready to get hot. Like, and here come Rice coming back. The Chiefs finna go on the run. You better do something. I'm just saying.
There's a rumor.
And what I'm saying is, he becomes a very valuable trade piece right now. I'm not saying trade him. I don't want him to go. But if you know you're going to just let this dude walk, what you can get for him, it'll help you out since you love draft picks so much. You can add to your draft next year if you trade him away. That's all I'm saying.
So there was a rumor I saw today that Buffalo is going to try to make a push for A.J. Brown from Philly. So Buffalo is trying to get a receiver, just FYI. But what were you saying, B-Bird?
Yeah, so one thing I heard this week, too, and I don't know how true it is, they said that if the Cowboys lose Pickens via free agents, they get a third-round draft comp pick back.
That's true.
They do, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you can get, but right now in a trade, you can get so much more.
Oh, no, definitely. Because you can probably get a first round out of them, to be honest with you.
I don't know if you're going to get that, but you can get a couple picks for him. And whether that's third, fourth round, whatever the case, you can get more than just a third round pick for him. With his value right now. Oh my God. What do you think Jacksonville would say? Come on now.
Yeah.
You know, a team that need to catch up to Kansas City and Buffalo. This dude can make a big time difference. For real. I'm just saying he becomes let me say this again, because y'all think I'm not saying trade him. However, if you know you're not gonna sign him, he really does become a tremendous trade piece for you on this team. That's all I'm saying.
So let me ask you a question. Name another team in the league that would have a Pickens, but we talk about not signing him because our players overperform, and now we're scared that we're not going to sign, like Michael Parsons. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they play so well. That's what you want players to do. You want players to come in and play well, but in our minds now that that draft pick is doing real good, we ain't gonna sign him. You know what I'm saying? that wide receiver, we ain't gonna sign him. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that they got in our minds to start thinking like that, man.
Yeah.
So Brian Smith said a second and third for picking easy. So look, I will say this: we got to do a whole Friday night show on the Cowboys culture, and the elephant in the room is the Cowboys culture is Steven and Jerry. It's the hang around the rim. Whenever they get a chance to do something to put them over the top, they take a step back. And
First of all, let me stop you right there.
Mm-hmm.
When was they hanging around the rim?
Well, they haven't been.
Their definition of hanging around the rim and mine are different. I don't know. One and done, that ain't hanging around the rim.
That is not hanging around the rim.
So,
I mean that ain't hanging around the rim. What you talking about? If you talking about winning NFC East, then okay, yeah, you hanging around the rim for that. But I don't know what hanging around the rim means. I'm sorry.
So hanging around.
What Baltimore do is hanging around the rim, right?
Yeah. So hanging around the rim is Damone Clark and LVE instead of Bobby Wagner. So hanging around the rim is you got CD, Cedric Wilson, and Amari Cooper, and you trade Amari Cooper. So this is what they do. You got a team that looks pretty good in the preseason. I mean, looks pretty good in the offseason. You trade for George Pickens, but you trade Micah. So that's hang around the rim. So, but they the only team that talks that way. You know, they got draft and develop. They got all of these different monikers. Hang around the rim, draft and develop. We like our guys, right kind of guys. So that's in their culture too. Where we started our show is the Matt Eberflus prototype. They like that. That's their thing. I told my son when Matt Eberflus got fired from the Bears, I told him that's the next Cowboys head coach right there. Now, wow. I was halfway wrong. They made him the defensive coordinator, but it all comes out the same. So that's what they do. So, but yeah, big time. they just say stuff, and it's just people buy into it. We've been doing it for 30 years, and so what do we? I've been looking at the Twitter situation here. I'm not seeing a whole lot on Diggs. Somebody said they think he fell in the tub. There is somebody saying they think somebody, like a girlfriend, hit him upside the head or something with something. So I don't know.
So
First of
break
all,
down that, man.
let me stop everybody real quick. First of all, everybody hit the like button. Wherever you're watching, wherever channel you're on, I need you to hit the like button. Hit it real quick. We need about 50. If you smash it real quick, like I'm my thumb here, that's about 25 I just did right then in less than 3 seconds. Y'all smash the like button, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Hit that like button for us. If you appreciate what we're saying, if you appreciate what we're doing. Then second thing, father and son podcast. If you sports talking podcast, please go subscribe to that channel wherever you're at. B Bird Cowboys is there. B Bird Cowboys, go to his channel on YouTube and subscribe there. And whether most of you already know, I'm right here, the Big Time Show. Subscribe to all of our channels at once. Let's pump up these subscriptions before we get to what everybody wants to talk about, and that's Diggs. I don't know who want to start it off, but go ahead. Let's talk about.
I want to hear what you got to say, man.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard, I'm quite sure you know about now. Trayvon Diggs will not be playing Sunday. He's already been ruled out with a concussion. And some of you may be saying, well, when did that happen? Because it didn't happen on Sunday on the field. He didn't get a concussion from hitting nobody. Let me just go and skip over the field. He got his concussion at home. Before I get my tirade, I need everybody to type in at home. He got his, not on the field, not on the practice field. He got a concussion. He's under concussion protocol because of what happened. Come on, help me say it. At home. Do y'all know how ridiculous that sounds, y'all? I'm just trying to tell you. So I'm quite sure this dude, this dude being a millionaire, I'm quite sure he has cameras outside his house. I'm quite sure he has cameras inside his house. I'm quite sure. The way it happened last night. And he called the Cowboys, and Schottenheimer came in and said today at his press conference that he came to the building and he's under concussion protocol. But he had a quote unquote, from what Bleacher Report said, an accident at home. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to figure out, because I'm at home right now, and I'm trying to figure out what in the world could get me to get a concussion at home. Did I run into the wall by mistake? Did I hit my head? I got a ceiling fan over my head right now. Maybe the ceiling fan fell on top of his head. Maybe that was it. Or maybe I got stairs in my home right now. Maybe he fell down the stairs and hit his head at home. Maybe he was running on the stairs, and I'm just trying to figure out how in the world this dude get a concussion. I wish y'all would help me say it tonight. At home. Boy, I feel like preaching right now. It happened at home. It happened at home. And so, to make a long story short, because I don't want to hog it up, because I did this on my show today. The man didn't get it on the field. He got it at home. And so, what in the world could make you lose? When you get a concussion, there's about a 1 or 2 seconds where your mind go blank, if not longer, and something had to happen. And so I was saying, just stay tuned, stay calm. Things are gonna come out. Just wait. And I said, can you imagine what Jared Jones gonna say about this situation? And can you imagine what Eberflus gonna say? And I tried to go the football way, y'all. I tried my best, but it just don't make any sense. Against the Jet game, y'all followed the timeline real quick. He didn't start, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Diggs gets on the microphone and started talking about the concept. And then he started saying playing the man is grits.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt Eberflus comes back in his press conference a day later and says essentially that, we got to switch up, but I don't like grits. That's what Matt Eberflus said. So that's a direct shot at him. So you can detain from that there's a problem between Eberflus and Diggs for him to come to the press and go at his player like that. Okay. Then, of course, they have practice this week. The common sense thing, because everybody's saying, we're going to have changes. We're going to have changes. Eberflus said, we're going to have changes. Schottenheimer said, we're going to have changes. The last practice that the guys really had was Thursday. The man got messed up on Thursday evening. Now all of a sudden he got a concussion. Could it be? I'm just throwing this out. I have no way of verifying this. That maybe one of the changes was that Diggs may not start.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, Diggs get a little upset. And now all of a sudden, he calls in and say, I got a concussion. At home. Wait a minute, I ain't done. I ain't done. Go ahead. Let me finish up. Cause you're a little upset. Cause maybe you didn't start. Now that's just me talking. I may be 1,000,000% wrong. However, there was something else that came out today. The great Nate Newton said not on his show, but one on the show.
Mm-hmm.
They brought it up, and Nate Newton says, "Hey, y'all kind of hold up. There's something happened. Something may have happened at the house. Which now brings something else up. The part that really ain't our business, but Diggs and his brother kind of like wild women. Y'all understand?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And some of these young ladies ain't going. Let me just say that. And maybe I wasn't there. I'm just saying, but Nate Newton said, not Brooks, not big time. Nate Newton saying there's something going on there. He didn't say a woman, just something may have happened at the house. Maybe the young lady, I don't know, it may have been a dude. We living in a different time. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe somebody went upside his head. And maybe that's the reason why he may have had a concussion. Y'all, I'm just saying. So I passed the mic over. I'm done.
So B-Bird, I'm gonna let you jump in. I want to tell a funny story real quick. So this is an OG story. So big time, you appreciate this. Al Green is from Memphis, right?
Oh yes, sir. I already know where you're going. That's it.
So I probably was about 6 or 7 years old, B-Bird. We standing outside in the front yard, and there was a story on the radio that, and so back then, my mom and my grandparents, they all cook with a lot of grease, and you couldn't walk by the stove when that grease was popping. So when I heard the Al Green story, I thought that his girlfriend had threw some grease, like some hot grease on him.
No, he threw hot grits.
So I found out later it was some grits that he hit Al Green with. So B-Bird, I'm gonna let you take it from there.
Yeah.
Cowboy Joe, I love it.
Now, one thing, man, I kind of noticed, and I kind of turned the head from it. I'm a big Diggs fan, man. But one of the things I noticed is that them boys kind of loose with their women, man. They all over the place with their seeds. I mean, they got kids here, kids there, and man, when you that careless, man, or you like that, man, things come back on you. Your life, your home life isn't gonna be stable. Like if you had a wife and 2 kids, you go home every day after your home life's gonna be stable.
Yeah.
But when you out there, got this one over here, got this one over here, you got one over in LA and they coming down, man, that's a lot, man. But also what that does too, man, is that can kind of take your focus off too.
Yeah.
And so like young men don't understand like these things, like all this turmoil and confusion that you have at your house will affect your workspace too. And so I don't know, the details hadn't come out yet on this whole thing. I don't know what it is, but all I can tell you is that Stephon and Trayvon, their question as far as what they like in women, they don't like just the one that's gonna be at the house chilling.
No.
They want the ones that's outside.
They want the wild ones. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're witnessing is right now. See, you ain't gonna get this with the younger other content creators. You got about 80 years of experience right on this screen right here. And most of us, all of us married. I know it.
Yeah, I am.
All of us are married.
But
before we were married, help me with somebody. I wish y'all would help us tonight. Before we were married, we participated in, as the Bible says, riotous living. Y'all understand? So you're getting an OG perspective, and that's kind of what Nate. You can read in between the lines there. What he was saying. He may have fell up on a young lady that let me put it this way, that might have Tiger Woods him. Like y'all remember what happened to Tiger?
Yeah, we remember.
Y'all remember what happened to Tiger with his wife and all that type of stuff? It for him to get a concussion, come on. I don't think Diggs is that sloppy that he done fell and buzzed his own head. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And I think that as time go on, it may not come out eventually. I mean, immediately, but I think it's going to come out eventually. If the Cowboys say he's under concussion protocol, I trust that. I believe it. The question is why. And based off of what B-Bird just said, and based off of what Nate Newton kind of started going with it, I probably believe Diggs had a visitor last night at his house, and the visitor didn't, at some point there was a disagreement or something, and y'all, some of y'all is looking at me now. Y'all don't sit there. There's a reason why y'all quiet right now. Some of y'all already know what we talking about. Some of y'all done been through some of this stuff, and you know how it is. Yeah. Sometimes it go down like this, and things just No, Brian, I'm good. I ain't got this problem. Ain't nobody ever went upside my head. I appreciate your concern, though, Brian. Ain't nobody went upside my head.
I threw some grits on you.
Yeah, no, I ain't had no grits. I ain't no grease, nothing else. I'm just saying. This OG perspective, you got to read in between the lines on this. I think Diggs may have had a little issue with someone of the opposite sex, and things may have just got a little out of hand, and the brother got a concussion. That's all I'm saying.
Can I give y'all a stat, man, that I heard, and I just went kind of researched it. They say 86% of the billionaires in the world are married, and 76% of the millionaires in the world are married. What that is that, man, when you're married, marriage brings you stability, man. Yeah. And it cuts out confusion. It gives you understand what you're coming home to. It gives you discipline. It gives you a whole bunch of structure also. So if billionaires are married, financially is a good thing, right? If millionaires are married, financially is a good thing also. But the single life, man, that's why a lot of these young athletes, man, that after they get through playing, they don't have no money. Why? Because, you know what I'm saying, you've been out there. It costs to get out there in that single life, man. It's wild out there, man.
Especially when you're going after the wild ones. You ain't going after no, you just, it's Thursday night. I got to get ready to play the game. I'm just looking for a night. You understand? I'm like Luther Vandross. If only for one night. I ain't trying to make no week out of you. I just need just have fun for one night. And so what you go do is go get you don't go, boy, let me stop. You don't go get the most conservative women. You're looking for the top notch of different categories. I'm trying to be nice at what I'm saying here. And y'all understand what I'm saying. And sometimes those girls have the type of attitude that ain't on the classy side. Let me just say it like that. Let me stop. Let's move on to Washington or something, because I'm gonna get in trouble. Let me stop. I'm done. Go ahead.
Yep. So we'll guess we can just wind it down, gentlemen. We'll give our thoughts on the game on Sunday. So big time. You pretty much nailed every game. I don't think you've missed one yet. I thought the Giants game was gonna be a blowout. I can't remember what I said about the Jets. But I think we got another close one Sunday. Washington, it's a rivalry. I hope Eberflus gets the memo that it's a big game, and so he needs to come up with a good game plan. Just mix it up and hit this quarterback with some things he's not expecting. You know, we got players. So Diggs not playing. They're saying Debo not playing. Expected to be a close game, and it's gonna be one that's fun to watch. We back on the varsity schedule at 3:00. We've been playing the JV schedule for a couple of weeks. So, but I think it's gonna be a close game, and again,
what's your score, Joe?
I'm gonna go 27-24 Dallas. That's what I'm kind of feeling.
Y'all put in y'all score in the chat. I just want to see, and make sure you let us know who you think gonna win, because I'm gonna come back. When y'all come back and see us next Friday, I'm gonna be looking at it for some of y'all. Put it in the score there. Go ahead, B Bird.
Yeah, man. So I was wrong last week. I thought we was gonna beat Carolina. I was wrong on that one. I guess when I pick, I'm pessimistic towards the organization as far as the Joneses and this, that, and other. But when I pick, I'm actually optimistic. So I got us winning 30-28, man. Last second field goal, maybe down 28-27, last second field goal win. And that's just hopeful thinking, to be totally honest with you.
First of all, thank all y'all for popping in on us tonight. I think this is gonna be a shootout. I don't think nobody gonna stop nobody. I think that it's gonna boil down to possibly who got the ball last. Turnovers will be major in this, if there are turnovers. With CD coming back, I don't think there's a defense in the NFL that can handle this offense. I just don't see it. And I just don't. I think that we're really going to score now, because with CD back, what that is going to do is that's going to push them safeties to play back now. Last week we had some type of single high stuff, and Pickens just burnt guys. With CD coming back, I think you're going to have that, which means I'm expecting Javonte Williams this week to have a big game, which might help out this defense, because time of possession now comes into play. Yeah. And so I'm expecting Javonte to have a big game this week. And I think that it's going to be I don't think our defense, I think they're going to play better, but I think Eberflus is going to be stubborn and going to go back to that zone stuff, especially since Diggs is not playing. Now you really got an excuse to go back to zone, because you don't trust Elam like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might trust Bland like that, but you don't trust Elam like that. So to protect them, you may have to go back to zone a little bit more than what maybe your game plan was prior to the Diggs getting hurt or with the concussion. So because they're in zone, I've already seen it. And I know we get torched. And if you ain't blitzing, Jaden Daniels is gonna light Dallas, Texas up.
Yep.
But I just think that again is gonna light the Washington Commanders up. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if we all know Dan Quinn is a pressure type defensive coordinator.
Yep.
I understand they got Von Miller. I understand they got Payne and all that. But if you blitz Dak right now, you asking for some real trouble, Doc.
Yeah.
For real, especially with CD back. So I'm expecting something like 41-35. That's the kind of game I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a real shootout. I don't think nobody really is gonna stop nobody. I just think that these guys are gonna light this place up. And I think that we just gonna have just a little bit more than Washington. So I'm expecting the Cowboys to pull it off. 41-35, something like that.
All right. I hope your prediction is right, brother.
It's been right here all these weeks. So I mean, I'm just hoping so. Before we close out, are we closing out now, gentlemen? Or what?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So I started off. Listen, everybody, thank you guys for hanging with us on the night. Been a pleasure to come with you guys. Always a pleasure hanging with the brothers here, B-Bird and Cowboy Joe. Coach Marv probably be back with us next week. But listen, follow me on Facebook, The Big Time Show. Follow me on YouTube, The Big Time Show, and Twitter also, The Big Time Show. It's real simple. Go find me there. If you're on YouTube, if you're on my channel now, you haven't subscribed, please do me the honor of subscribing. Then go follow my guys here and they'll tell you exactly where to find them. Appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you again. I'm out.
So this is Cowboy Joe with Father and Son Cowboys and Sportscast. You can follow me on Twitter at Cowboy Joe 64. And appreciate you guys liking and subscribing to our channel. I do my show with my son, and we are doing shows with B-Bird as well. So this show we're doing on Friday night, guys, I really think it's getting better and better. I think this might have been our best show tonight. But it's just great being on with these guys. So make sure you like and subscribe to Big Time Show's channel and B-Bird Cowboy. And looking forward to next Friday. We can talk about this playoff game we just had.
Wow.
And so this is B-Bird Cowboys. I wanted to thank everybody, man. Y'all could be anywhere y'all want to be on. Y'all want to be on a Friday night. Y'all chose to come out here with us, and we're definitely grateful. This show wouldn't work without y'all, man. So we definitely appreciate everybody, all the people that's commenting, that's been here with us the whole time, man. So we definitely appreciate y'all. On YouTube, B-Bird Cowboys. On Twitter, B-Bird Cowboys. The same thing, man. Y'all can give me a follow. Follow our brothers also, man. We want everybody's channel to grow in an organic manner, man. But y'all come, if y'all like what y'all see, man, you can get the same thing on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere else that we're at. So definitely go and follow my guys, follow us. And we love this Friday night show, man. We give you some things that's happening now, but we also go deeper in the past, not what we heard, what we saw. And so we can actually bring those things back. So we give y'all a different perspective here on a Friday night, man. But we definitely appreciate y'all showing up here with us, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all.
And we thank y'all for that. And I guess my last bit of thing is this person that came in at the end and trying to I ain't gonna do you. You just show your intelligence, and your intelligence is pretty low, but you know.
So last week we got Cotton, so now we got this.
Yeah, I'm for to block this person. We ain't got to worry about this no more. I ain't gonna even check them. I know y'all want me to check them, but I ain't gonna do it. I'm just gonna block them and be done.
Just gonna block.
Just gonna block. You know. Just get them all out of here. So there it is. They blocked, and there it is. So we don't even do stuff like that. Listen, y'all guys, y'all have a great evening. Thanks for hanging with us. I'll be on tomorrow at some point, maybe a little bit early, maybe about 11 o'clock or so. I'll be on tomorrow with a little bit more in depth about tomorrow's game. Hope some of you guys will come and hang with me, and we'll see you then. All right, we out of here. This has been the one and only. Ain't nobody bad like us, y'all. We gonna tell it like it is.
Yes, sir.
Cowboys